struggles, all hurdles. I've done what you guys have done, and I'm here today. And what is the key element and the key skills behind what I am today? That's what I'm going to explain. Look, I think that hard work, patience, determination are the key elements where people can succeed. And motivating yourself in all aspects is the key traits you need to have. Okay, just a session outcome. I will be covering 3 main topics here. Number 1 is a student challenges and possible solutions. Number 2 is business strength and weaknesses. I won't be touching base too much on that because Michael and Dante has already explained a lot on that topic. So I will flip that side a little bit. And the last one is a personal risk management. So I want to spend a lot of time on that because it's all based on me being a social welfare coordinator of NANT. And with my experience of last 5 years, we've seen so many problems within our community, and we have a very raw data as to what sort of problems we face in the community from the risk management perspective. That's the main coverage of today's topic. Otherwise, most of the things in this slide either been covered by Dante or covered by Michael already, or will be covered by the panel discussion group in the later stage, as far as I understand. So a little bit of disclaimer here. Why is this slide moving automatically? Sorry.
There you go. I'm here.
So there, okay. Yep. All right. So bit of disclaimer here. I'm not presenting anything today as part of the Wealth Max group, so please don't take this as a legal advice. My role today is as a social welfare coordinator of Nepalese Association of Northern Territory. Just want to stick there. Little bit of homework here. Can I please check how many students are here, international students on a student visa? Can you please put your hands up? Almost 30%. Recent graduates on a 485 visa? Not too many. Permanent residents and citizens? All right, so we see the mass here. We targeted for students, international students and graduates. Unfortunately, we have more permanent residents and citizens. I think the last part on my slide actually is very useful for everyone, regardless of what visa situation you have, whether or not you are a citizen and a permanent resident, and it covers for everyone. And can I please check the language as well? English only speaking, non-Nepali speaking. Can you please put your hands up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I can't speak Nepali then. That's fine. All right, we have around 20 to 30% international students, so I can't sort of skip this slide. Look, to the international students, what I want to say is, keep yourself motivated. We have gone through all these challenges. We've gone through all these problems in our history as well, in our journey as an international students. I've listed out some of these challenges we faced, and I'm pretty sure you guys are facing the same problems as well. The first one, as soon as you come to Darwin or you come to Australia, the first thing that's going to hit in your mind and body is loneliness. But how can you overcome this problem? A homesickness. That's the biggest issue. That's a mental challenge and psychological challenge to start with when you come to Australia for the first time. So I think a lot of you already know this. The best part of overcoming the loneliness is making friends, networking. Michael actually mentioned before as well. Dante mentioned before as well, but they pretty much covered from the employment perspective. But please keep making friends. The more friends you have and the more networking you have, you don't feel lonely. Engage in the community events. Be a part of NANT, be a part of NRNANT, if possible, be an executive committee member and start volunteering for the organization. So that way, you can't be lonely. I know as an international student, you can't afford too much for the holidays, but even a cheap holidays like going to Berry Springs on the weekend can help with your friends to refresh yourself. And family touch. A lot of international students these days who have a lot of social issues, I see, they're getting out of touch from their family. Talk a lot with the family. If you don't like your dad, speak to mom. If you don't like your mom, speak to dad. If you don't like both of them, speak to your girlfriend or boyfriend. That will really help. That will really help. And the second one is employment. I don't want to touch too much on that because my previous speakers have discussed in detail about how to find employment and things. The only thing I would like to add on that is, look, the networking is going to help a lot. We come from that background where we think that employment is only possible through a very different lines called corruption and things. But in all reality, in Australia as well, I know there is no direct corruption and stuff, but networking and referral really works. So networking is important. Third is an accommodation. Wow, that's really hard. That's really hard. These days, being a real estate, we are in a real estate business as well, and we can tell how hard it is for the international students, even for everyone in Darwin at this stage, to find an accommodation. So how do you do that? There are a lot of university solutions as well. Speak to the university, make friends, that where you get a lot of accommodation from. Be a member of the social group like Nepalese in Darwin, Darwin anti-buy sell swap. You see a lot of vacancy in those social platforms as well. The social media aspect. Number fourth is a behavioral issues. Look, as a social welfare community, community coordinator and working for NRNANT and NANT for quite a long time, this is the major problem we are facing in the community at this stage. Look, if possible, stay away from the drugs. I don't want to give you the live example because of privacy reasons, but we get a lot of these cases these days. Have a good and positive attitude. No drinking and smoking. Now everyone starts laughing here because I myself smoke and drink, to be very honest. But looking at your bank account. If you've got $50 in a bank account, you cannot afford to buy a carton of beer, right? Stay with 6 packs, if possible. No gambling. Look, absolutely not on this one. Regardless of how many $1 million you have or how many $1,000 you have on the bank account, once you have a habit of gambling, your life is fully destroyed. It is the major cause and major problem we are having in our community at this size. Number 4 is medical. Look, as an international students, we work really hard. We spend a lot of time studying. We are stressed. We are psychologically stressed, and that will cause a detrimental effect in our health as well. So please have a habit of exercising and yoga as much as you can. Even a 5 minutes yoga or 5 minutes exercise or 5 minutes in front of the God in the morning will definitely help. Private health and doctors, never get scared to go to the doctors, even for small reasons. There is a private health insurance which you can always use. It doesn't cost you anything. Just jump into the doctors if you're worried about anything. Have the super and insurances in place. I will talk in more detail about this. Today's session we will be sort of focusing too much on the super and insurance part because that's the lack in our community, as I say. All right, business considerations. I will start with a question. Everyone in this planet thinks that running a business is better than working for someone. Isn't that absolutely true? Everyone thinks that running a business is good. You make more money, you have a flexible lifestyle, you can do whatever you want to do. If you feel like not working today, you can skip your office, That's what people think about business. However, the number of employees vastly outweighs the number of business owners. Why? Why is there a big population of an employee compared to the business owners? Can someone give me an answer to this? What would be the reason? Why is everyone not doing a business? Can I please do a quick sample? Who is on the business in this room? How many people are running a business? There you go. Number 2, 3. Anyone else? 5, 4. Yeah. Anyone else? 6. 6 out of possibly maybe 60. So around 10% in this room. What is the reason everyone cannot go for the business? Hard. Education. Risk. Good one.
Money.
Not necessarily. Some businesses you don't actually need money to start. All right, so the general considerations. The first thing first is, not everyone is born for business. Not everyone is made for business. I don't want to discourage everyone doing a business. Dante actually mentioned before, he tried to motivate as much as he could to get people into a business. But in all reality, everyone is not born for the business. That's the harsh reality. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say that, but it's the harsh reality. Number 2, one role versus multiple roles. When you are working for someone, if you are an accountant, you are just an accountant. If you are a sales rep, you are just a sales rep. If you are an admin person, you are just an admin person. But when you're running a business, if you're a director of a company, you are pretty much everyone and everything. You are a marketing manager, you are a chief executive officer, you are an admin officer as well, and sometimes I become a cleaner in my business, right? So you have to have skills. Obviously, to become a cleaner, you may not need a lot of skills, just vacuuming for 5 minutes. But what I'm trying to say is, you have the multiple roles in the business, and it gets psychologically very, very stressed a lot of times. If I talk about myself, I was regretting doing a business for 7 years. It's been almost 10 years since I established the business. Out of 10, I was regretting for 7 years. And last 3 years, it's okay, especially after the COVID saga. So, why did I not quit? Because I had a business experience in the past as a little boy. I started the business at the age of 13, ran the business for 5-6 years back in Nepal, although it was a small business, but I still did it. And I saw that business prospect. Establishing a business structure. Look, establishing a business structure is very easy. You hire an accountant, whatever structure you want to go with, sole trader, $300, $400 probably, just as a part of the consulting fee. If you want to operate as a company, maybe $1,200, $1,300, max $1,500. You'll get the business sorted out, the structure sorted out. But a structure doesn't mean anything. You have to run the real business. That's the most difficult task. Next one, business versus entrepreneur. I get a lot of question when I do a business consulting. Okay, I make $60,000 a year. Shall I run I would be more comfortable doing my own business and I can make $60,000. But is that really a business? If you're making $60,000 working for someone and you make $60,000 a year running a business, should you really run a business? Is that a business in itself? It's a tricky question, right? In my opinion, business becomes business when you start making money when you're sleeping. Correct? Business is business when someone makes money on your behalf. Correct? That's what it is. Now, students, be careful. Be careful. Look, I don't want to demotivate you, but be careful on these things. Number 1 is money or study. You have to choose and you have to balance between these two. what should you be chasing as an international student? Because your main priority, as I guess every student in this room, their first priority is to finish their studies, become a permanent resident. If you're not married, get married. If you don't have kids, have kids, right? If you focus too much and if you chase too much of the money, if you think that business will give you unlimited money and start chasing that dream, there is a good thing. I mean, you can succeed. Good luck. But what if it goes the other way around, right? You spend too much time doing the business or running the business, and you don't be careful about your study. Your visa will get cancelled, right? You will be sent back home. The next one is a work limit. I don't know how many of you actually were present here, not many people, when Dante was presenting here. He was talking about there could be a way around with the 24 hours. I think 48 hours of fortnight work limit at the moment for international students as far as I'm aware. But whatever it is, there is a limitation for the international students as to the number of working hours. It's not easy. Be careful with that as well. I'm not a migration agent. I'm not an education consultant. So please speak to the migration agent and education consultant before you actually decide to start the business. There could be a problem with that as well. If you're working on an ABN, please be mindful of tax and super implications. You got to understand your PAYG tax is not taken out from your ABN income. So you may end up with thousands of dollars of bills at the end of the year. And there is no super contribution when you are working on ABN. So you may choose to, you have to put aside some money for the future tax bill. And because there is no super contributions, you may choose to do the contributions voluntarily. Personal risk management. This is where we will be spending a little bit more time. Sandha, how long do I have? 5 minutes? All right, okay. Just to start with the question, how will you pay for your daily expenses if you are diagnosed with a terminal illness that requires bed rest for 12 months? Let's say you had an accident, bed rest for 12 months, study, meeting expenses like groceries and rent and the utilities bill. How are you going to do that? Students? It's hard, right? It's hard. If you are in a bed rest for 12 months, you can absolutely not go to work and no income. What are you going to do? 3 things: private health insurance, superannuation, and the most important thing is a personal insurances. If you have income protection insurance in place, the answer to that question is very, very easy, because the insurance company will pay or compensate you for the loss of income. So it's really necessary that you have all these personal insurances in place. The private health insurance, Sam is on a 485 visa. To save money, he cancelled his private health insurance. What do you think may happen to him? What happens when you are an international student or you are on a 485 graduate visa? Is it legal to cancel private health insurance? I don't think it is, because it's a mandatory requirement, right? So please don't do this silly mistake. You have to maintain the private health insurance. 2 risks. Number 1, you are breaching your visa conditions. Number 2, if something happens to you, there is no one to help. There's no one to cover the medical bills. So please have the adequate cover in place. Don't forget to renew on time. If you have to claim the private health insurance, a lot of insurance providers, obviously the insurance companies in Australia, they won't be sort of compensating for the damage very easily. They would like to not to cover you as much as possible, and the best tool they will be using is a pre-existing condition. We've seen this many times in the community. I mean, we get a complaint from people saying, look, I had a problem, we spoke to the private health insurance, they declined our claim. They say there was a pre-existing condition. How do I mitigate? If you end up with a $50,000 medical bills, what do? You don't have any money in your pocket. Don't get scared. Call them back and tell them you want to pay $5 a month. and let them tackle it. I don't know how long it takes to pay $50,000 when you pay $5 a month, but there is a solution to that. Okay? But don't run away from the bills, and please, please, please don't ignore them. If you ignore them, it will go to the collection agency, and then there is a problem with your credit records as well. Don't ignore them, just tell them whatever you can pay, go on a payment plan. Superannuation. Okay, this is very useful for everyone. How many of you in this room have access to online platform of your superannuation account? Can you please put your hands up? Oh, that's good. That's good. Almost more than 60%, which is good. All right, if you don't have online access, please have online access. And I assume those who have online access to super account you don't have to tell me, but you can check what your superannuation balance is as of today, right? Yeah, that is really, really important, because having online access to superannuation account will give you access to your insurances. And there are basically 3 insurances inside super: the death, total permanent disability, and income protections. And these 3 insurances are really important. If something happens and you die, obviously the benefit out of that will go to your beneficiary. Look, the harsh reality, I don't know about any other communities, but the harsh reality with the Nepalese community is a lot of people, including myself, when I first came to Australia, I borrowed money, right? And if something happens to me, who are those creditors claiming against back home? Obviously mom and dad, right? And if they have an income, that's okay. If they have any assets, there may not be a big impact on their financial position. But what happens if they don't have a financial capacity to pay those creditors back, right? I'm gone. But it will be a psychological, very bad psychological impact to my family as well. But if I have an appropriate death cover, let's say the insurance company pays $500,000 for me dying, right? At least that will go to my beneficiaries or my wife, whoever here, right? The next kid. Don't forget that superannuation contribution is mandatory, and all employers, only if you are working for tax, will have to contribute 11.5% in 2025 and 12% in 2026. To the international students, not too much for the 485 visa holders and permanent residents or citizens. Students, please have at least one tax job, at least, so that your employer contributes to superannuation, so that you have active insurances in place. Have online access to your superannuation account. I see not many people are serious about superannuation and insurances, but please be serious. Check the contributions regularly. There are many dodgy employers out in the market who don't contribute on time and who don't contribute enough. So have a habit of checking the contributions regularly and make sure that your employer is contributing. Have only one super account in order to minimize cost. If you're working on an ABN, obviously you won't have a superannuation account, but open the account and make contribution voluntarily in order to keep up the insurances. I will have to skip this, I'm sorry, because we're running out of time. I was given 15 minutes only. I could talk 15 hours on this, but that's okay. All right, any questions? If not, you know what to do. Thank you, thank you. Any questions? Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day.